So you've got 500 Wii Points and you're itching for a racing game. And you're a fan of that game called 3D Dot Game Heroes on the PS3. So what if I told you that for 500 Wii Points, you could get a racing game that controls similarly to Mario Kart on the Wii, with the visual stylings of 3D Dot Game Heroes? That's exactly what 3D Pixel Racing from Microforum is all about. Don't go opening your wallet just yet. As good as this combination sounds on paper, in practice, it's a little less than optimal. First, the good stuff. There's quite a bit to do in 3D Pixel Racing. You have your standard championship, single race, and time trial modes, which are standard for any racing game. These challenges are broken up into 5 races and go towards a final position. There is also multiplayer action for you and up to 3 friends built on the same foundation. 3D Pixel Racing also includes a hot pursuit mode, where your main objective is to put a certain amount of distance between you and the cops in as short a time as possible. And finally, there is the Capture the Flag mode, which sounds interesting, but in practice is a bit obtuse. In fact, you may find that most of this game is obtuse because of one major glaring issue: the control. 3D Pixel Racing has you rotate your Wii remote like a steering wheel, just like Mario Kart Wii. However, unlike Mario Kart's refined motion controls and the ability to play with other methods, like the GameCube controller, you're restricted to motion controls only, on what feels like ice, since your car will fishtail all over the road at the slightest turn of the wheel. This can be a pretty big problem, because even on easy difficulty, your opposition will navigate the track with no issues whatsoever. The poor control can also lead to another questionable situation, where if you clip the corners to get a leg up and close the gap faster, you'll be removed from the track, only to be put severely behind to start again. This can kill a race, even in the first lap. In the case of Capture the Flag, the rules don't apply to the opposition like it does to you. You can bump into the back of your opponent, and they can nick your flag, but if they hit you from behind, the flag won't transfer. The flag can also go between you and your opponent, but they'll often stick you into a wall or corner and only let you move when they have the flag. Dubious. You also have the option to turn pit stops on or off, but I recommend keeping them off. Even after a ton of practice, when I turned them back on, I ended up in second place because I couldn't catch up to the car that passed me in the meantime. The tire wear mechanic will definitely add a new dynamic to the game, but it impedes your progress in far too great a manner. And unfortunately, no matter how long you spend with this game, and no matter what game mode you play in, you never really get a handle on the controls. I wish I could say that the presentation was up to code, but that's not quite the case either. While the cars are neat cubified versions of real-world supercars, complete with low-res badges that show you that they could be a Porsche or a Ferrari, the character designs are iffy and the animations used are a bit on the irritating side. The sound is rather poorly sampled as well, with generic-sounding, soulless music and sound bites that are muffled and chopped off. Never mind that the tire squeal will get really tiresome really fast. I suppose I shouldn't have expected quality on the scale of Mario Kart Wii or 3D Dot Game Heroes out of this title at just $5, but I can't actively recommend it, even at such a low price point. There's definitely a lot to do here, and there's all kinds of unlockables, but its good ideas are marred by unforgiving and unforgivable control, and ends up being, for all its merits and faults, strictly average because of this. If you can, try it before you buy.